How is it going, everyone? We are live. We've got a lot of people tuning in on X already, which is crazy. Doesn't usually speed up that quickly. But anyways, this is going to be a fun day. Unfortunately, TSG what might not be able to make it or probably cannot make it. Hopefully, he just rocks up spontaneously like he does sometimes. But until then, it is going to be just me for today's episode. We're going to talk about everything to do with the latest announcement. And there's actually a bunch of other leaks and things throughout the Discord and stuff like that. So I'm going to bring that all to you guys like I always do. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. It's going to be really good. What are we up to? What does it say in the title? The download episode 72? God damn, time flies by really fast. I remember when I was putting the number 52 and I'm like, we've done it for a year. And now we're already up to 72. Like, that's almost a year and a half. Like, by the end of January, I guess it'll be a year and a half basically. And we haven't even done like every single week. It's probably well beyond that anyways. So absolutely crazy. I really appreciate you guys for actually turning up every single week. There's so many of you that come every single week and many of you that come like every second week or just whenever you can and stuff like that. And I really appreciate all that as well. I've been preparing a bunch more stuff where I like really drill down on the most important videos that I want to put on my channel each and every week. And so I'll be trying to amp up not necessarily the quality is probably the wrong word for it, but rather the overall strategy of my YouTube channel. I'll be covering a handful more games, still with a pretty big Illuvium focus. Obviously, that's what my audience cares about. But really, I'll cover all the topics that my audience really cares about, rather than a bunch of the really random stuff that they don't. So it'll be a mix of new games and topics that are better for you guys as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. I hope you had a great Christmas as well, Kevin. I was going to put on a Christmas hat, but I can't remember where it was. It's too late now. Let's just pretend I have a Christmas hat on. There we go. I hope you guys all had a really good Christmas. Merry Christmas. I hope you guys have a good New Year's too. That's coming up in a few days as well. I went back to work today. I've got work Monday, Tuesday. So I'm back into the full swing of things, even though I only took Christmas Day off. I've been still like grinding ever since, but the Steam Deck has let me get some gaming time and get some chilling out time in as well. So that's been really awesome. Let's jump into the announcements. We didn't do an episode last week, and so we have a lot to cover today. So we should definitely jump straight into it. Okay. The first one is from Jay. Arena and Overworld patch 1.3.2 actually kicked in 2 weeks ago. It had some really cool stuff, some big balancing to the composite synergies and things like that. Let's see if there's anything else. This shouldn't take too long to load. There we go. Yeah, it was all the major balancing changes across the board. Base synergies all changed. The classes changed a little bit. Everything was very simplified. The brand new UI went in as well. Looks way better. Merry Christmas, Texan. Composites all got huge changes, buffs, and like maybe one thing got a nerf, but they mostly got buffs because they nerfed the basic synergies. They kind of buffed them. I don't know. They adjusted a bunch of the different stuff, and so they heavily buffed the composites based on how difficult they are to obtain. For example, Shock is pretty strong now. Inferno is even stronger. That's a noticeable one. Tsunami is really hard to get. So that one became really powerful. Mystic as well is quite difficult to get in the grand scheme of things. That one became quite powerful as well. But they became more powerful at the upper echelons of things. I do actually have a video coming out all about that, but there were so many other announcements that I had to push that video back like 3 times. And so that's not coming out just yet, unfortunately. It got pushed back quite a bit. How's it going, BW Travels? Appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate you all stopping by. I really appreciate it. All right. So that's that announcement. Let's jump into the next one. Successful revenue distribution went out. 11,380 ILV was bought and distributed to stakers, which is nothing to snuff at. That is a lot of tokens bought off the open market. 158 Ethereum was distributed. I can't remember if someone calculated it. I think it was something 0.01 per 1 ILV for this one. But I can't quite remember. So something like 100 ILV would get you 1 more ILV, which really isn't terrible, but it is a 1% ROI on one of the lower token prices that we've been at. So it's not exactly the ROI that's beating out the S&P, although it kind of is, because if you got that every single month, that would be 12%, which is actually beating out all the stock markets and stuff like that. But obviously, we're not getting it every single month. But if we were, like if this 150 ETH occurrence happen once a month, I believe it actually does beat out the stock markets and dividend portfolios and stuff like that, like with a slight edge, which is basically kind of what we're going for here with this whole revenue distribution thing. So that's pretty cool. We're not there yet, but we're definitely moving in the right direction at this stage. So that's very exciting. So the next thing is there was an alluvial stat update that occurred last week. Basically, there were issues affecting alluvial stats across the game and the Alluvidex, but now they have been resolved. They're resolved on the 19th. All stats should now display consistently. The bonus stat graphs in-game on the Alluvidex are now matching. Also, the trait purity indicator is going in. I don't think it's quite in yet, but it's going to be in soon, hopefully. So that's pretty exciting. If you want to know what actually happened, is there are a few minor things that went wrong and they kind of formed like a perfect storm, which is what caused some issues. Things like they reordered a bunch of the traits and then they thought the alluvials migrated and they didn't. And so when they updated everything, it just kind of failed. It didn't have the intended effect, but they actually noticed it and realized it really, really fast and then updated it straight away, which is pretty cool. It's just a shame that this sort of thing happened. It was an honest mistake. I've spoken to Kieran and the council, spoken to him and stuff. Like they got onto it really, really fast and fixed it really, really fast. And we're actively discussing like how people are feeling about the bugs and stuff like that, and what we can do to make everyone whole and stuff as well. So there's a lot of discussions happening on that sort of topic as well. Also, take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. Like, I'm not speaking all the technical lingo, and there's even more to it than what I just said. So there's a lot of things at play. But all I'm saying is they made an error, and like, well, not an error. They just like they thought it worked and they missed something, and then like 2 hours later they were like, "Oh shit!" and they fixed it. You know, like so it was really quick. It just takes a while for it to update all this stuff. That's the blockchain. The blockchain can be a little bit slow, but it's more like a you can only hit the IMX. I don't know if they have extra limits, but you can only hit the IMX API 5 times a second, which sucks. All right. So the next one is the major announcement from Kieran. He was hinting at it last week. He said it's going to be out by next week. I kept telling people it's maybe going to be late because I really wasn't sure. Like, this is like the first time it wasn't late, but it was right on time, right when he expected. They got the video and everything as well. And so it's here. And let's first watch this video. We'll go through the other announcements and then we'll circle back to this at the very end of the... No, we'll circle back to this after the announcements and then probably again at the end of the stream. I think if I download that, it's going to run better. So let's just do that. Hold on. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. Just give it 2 seconds, guys. It's been a long week, guys. Have you guys had a long week? How's it gone, Juan? Have you guys had a really long week for Christmas? Did you all see your family? How's it all going? Like, has it been... Anyone have a bad Christmas? Actually, maybe don't say that. Just say if you've had a good Christmas. There's a few things I want to talk about with this, okay? Firstly, the hammer goes hard. They should have had that as the 4th one because the hammer went the hardest out of all 4 of them easily. The hammer and the Titanol went hardest. That should have been 4th. If Dimitri or whatever, if you're in the chat, that should have been 4th. That was my favorite part. But maybe you open strong. I don't know. All right. The hammer goes hard. I did quite like the shield and I quite like the daggers too. And the Mozarts and stuff, you can see here, this Mozart has the Malura skin on it, which is really, really cool. You built Lego with your nieces? Oh, that sounds lit. I actually like can't wait to build Lego with like my own kids one day or something. You know, I have like 3 or 4 Lego kits sitting in my wardrobe and I've got nowhere to put the actual sets when they're complete. And so I just haven't built them yet. And I'm building my house now. And so when that's done, hopefully in the middle of the year, the first thing I'm going to do is build all the Lego sets. I might even record it. I don't know. Okay. This one goes hard. This great scene, and there's actually a leak in the Discord. I'll post a link to it later that you can actually grab this as a wallpaper, which is very cool. The hammer does go hard, BW. See, you get it. Merry Christmas, Taylors. How's it going? I really like this, okay? We have it. I know we can customize our ranger in the game. We haven't really seen a Ranger close up with the suit like this before. And actually, like, they look kind of goofy. Like, they don't quite look like a real human, but more that they look like a really ugly human or like a semi-ugly human to an extent. But this grid at the end just doesn't work. That one, look, his mouth goes up like at an angle. It's so funny. It's so funny. But the way the holographic thing goes over his visor and stuff like that, it actually looks really, really cool. Yes, record. Yeah, one of them's really cool set. One of them's The Office, and then I have the Nintendo 64. No, NES. The NES where you can like do the little scroll thing and you can have the TV with the Mario go across. It's like an insane set. All right, let me quickly bring up a picture. You guys are going to love this. I have this one here. You build a full NES out of Lego bricks and you build a little full TV. It's got a hand crank and the Mario goes around it. It's just like the most nostalgia trip ever. It just needs electronics inside it because I would play the crap out of that Lego NES. That would be so funny. All right, let's get to the next one. All right, Winter Battle Board and Cosmetics Pack now available. I bought one today. It's pretty cool. You get like, you get 4 emotes. No, 3 emotes and a Luvitar and a Drone Blast. Oh, it says it right here. 1 Christmas, a Luvitar, which is actually pretty sweet. It's like this really cute Adore. 3 festive emotes, Nutcracker, Lesser Fire Grocko, Claus, Santa Claus Crunk, and Elf Ebb, and 1 Snowball Drone Blast. It shows a little preview of this. It actually looks really cool. That's my favorite part of this thing. Like, if you believe in the long-term success of Illuvium, this is part of the getting in early thing where you get this cool snowball NFT drone blast that someone will see that and they'll be like, oh, that's so cool. Like I have a bunch of those like old from season 3 League of Legends, old Christmas avatars and things like that. And they're some of my favorite things ever. And this is just one of those things. It's so, so cool. So you can buy that now. There's a little trailer here. I didn't know that. Okay. You got the little eyeglasses too. I love it. Oh, it's too loud. Sorry about that. Hold on. Let me fix that. There we go. That should be better. How good is that snowball? It's so good. And I didn't even realize it says ho 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 at the end. And this is the avatar. Which is great. I won't really use one of these because I like customizing my Luvitar, but they're very, very cool. Okay, so the next one is a huge one as well. Late last week, barely a week, the Illuvium Zero patch 1.2.7 is live. It adds in mega cities, blueprint minting, actually that reminds me, and bug fixes and improvements. I have noticed the game is a lot more stable for me. I do not have a mega city. I'm hearing lots of people with mega cities are having issues. They're generating less fuel than expected and some logging out bugs and stuff like that, making it harder for them to play the game. I hope these things are resolved quickly. Obviously, it's the holidays, so we should all give the team a little bit of a breather, give them some room. I mean, you could argue that they probably shouldn't have put out this patch before the holidays, but at the same time, everyone's been begging for it for months and months, so I don't think they saw the benefit in delaying it either. And obviously, they didn't expect it to have some pretty bad bugs in there. But for me, I've been enjoying it. The blueprint minting stuff is really cool. You need to build a bunch of 0-point transducers, and they take a week to mint a blueprint, which I think is really cool. It means that, like, for each 0-point transducer, we can only mint 52 blueprints a year. And if you think about it, if there's 14 armors for each alluvial, you could really only, with 1 transducer, you could only mint 1 line of alluvial armors every year per plot of land. Or well, per transducer, you get a few of them. But again, that's actually really cool. And I like how it kind of adds in this really neat artificial scarcity to it all. And maybe there'll be ways to speed that up in the future too, which could be really cool as well. But I absolutely love all that sort of stuff. And I hope you guys are enjoying the update too and start minting your blueprints. What can we do with your morphopods now in Zero? You can use them to reduce the cost required for blueprint minting. I should go get me some more morphopods. Okay. Hotfix patch for update for patch 1.3.3 is live. This is really cool because they resolved some issues with the Snail and Pangol and Lyle and Mega effects and made them like invincible. It was actually kind of funny but ridiculous at the same time. But it also has augments adjustments where they updated a bunch of things. But the best part is it was a back-end update. No client download was required. It's really good to see that it's easier for us to get bug fixes and stuff to the game very, very quickly. And I like that. And people are complaining about these slow matchmaking times and stuff like that. 2 weeks ago, it was worse. It's going to slow down over the holidays, obviously, but 2 weeks ago, it was worse. And we're actually getting more and more new players trying out the game. When rewards and tournaments and things kick in, I actually think Arena is going to go really hard and we're going to get a surprising amount of players. It's clear that people are enjoying the game more than ever, and I can't wait for its future. But I could be wrong, obviously, but I'm really looking forward to it. Let me just put it that way. Okay. So the next one is the GShock promo sale has officially ended. I hope you guys got all the discs you wanted to get and open. 6,210 plus promo discs were sold. Thank you to everyone who participated in the promo event. For those who earned a GShock watch, details on how to claim your watch will be shared via email and Discord in early 2025. Do not get scammed. Wait for an official Discord announcement. Ask in the Discord if you're not sure. Be careful of any emails, okay? Please. And the date for our upcoming Town Hall event, the loaded raffle winners. Very looking forward to that. Stay tuned for more updates and events in the new year. I think any new Town Hall soon, and there's been so much happening, it's going to go really hard. And I think it's going to be great. So if there's a Town Hall announced soon, definitely make sure you guys check it out. All right, let's jump into some of the leaks. I'm already losing my voice. All right. First up, we've got a really neat leak thanks to Sophia and Roger posting it in the Discord, which is really cute. It's an Adore who's absolutely loving their time in the snow. You think you would use a frost alluvial, but at the same time, I think Adore fits really well. Well, I guess it's an elk, which is kind of close to a deer, and reindeers are a big part of Thingo, so I get that, I suppose. All right. So the next one is there's the new, or this is one version of the new disc opening sequence for the new cosmetic Christmas disc theme disc thing. I really like it. I opened a disc today, but I don't even remember what the animation looked like. I don't remember it being very different to this. Either way, I really, really like it. Okay. The next one is Roger shows a little sneak preview of the GShock watch. And he shows that the logo or all of the other logos and things like that are actually embossed onto the watch thing. So it's not just like a standard print. It's actually a really nice setup they've got for these watches. I can't wait to get mine. I much prefer an analog watch. I don't know if I would wear this that much, but I might. They also have mint numbers by the looks of it, unless that's just a number on everything. I have no idea. Does anyone know if that's like a mint number type thing? Because that would be really adorable. All right. The next thing is from Nick. I think there's a really good take here. He says, why not just support multiple chains? It's kind of like what Blocklords does, but basically centralized account system allows the user to connect a wallet from multiple chains and read that wallet's NFTs. Marketplace allow user to filter results by chain. Game client allow user to choose where they want to mint the new alluvial. And in the arena, the game client just reads the NFTs the user has across chains and allows them to be used in PvP. No technical blockers to any of this. Yeah, really, as long as you don't have some sort of setup that the hardest part about multi-chain things is moving things between chains. But if you don't have that and you just have like a read-only stuff across multiple chains, you can make the game more accessible to more people. For me personally, I really don't like using Solana, and I've never used Cardano before. But if I had like a game and it's like we're only Cardano, I might be like, it's going to be really good for me to try it. But if they're like, the game is on Cardano and AVAX, and you don't have to use both of them, you can just use AVAX if you want to, I'd be like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. And I think that's really the difference here. I like to think that IMX is pretty cemented in the crypto gaming space nowadays, but at the same time, I know that many don't really like it. And for example, IMX and Ronin both being used as our chains would open up doors for so many other possibilities, especially as you're getting like the ILV token into the Ronin ecosystem and stuff as well. I think there are some really great ideas there. Happy holidays, Tallulah. How's it going? Okay, so the next thing is Kieran comments on MMO Lite, where he says that we actually have built a bunch of quests already, and we just haven't released them because we don't want to drip feed content. You need to be able to play for hours and hours, and I think this is really important, okay? If they just started dropping like the little bits of quests they do have, you'll finish the quest in like an hour, and you'll be like, oh, and then you leave, and maybe you come back to 2 weeks later to play the next quest or the next part of the series, and then you leave, and then you come back a bit later to play the next part of the series. But eventually you're just like, I can't be bothered anymore. You really just want to release it all in one and get people really engaged all at the same time, and then hopefully have enough content there that you can add in more content for a bit of a revolving door sort of effect. So I think this is the right idea here. It's cool to hear that he's actually got some quests set up. Crypto says that FTM just migrated to the new chain Sonic. Would be interesting to see Illuvium on that, the fastest EVM chain. I'm hearing about the fastest EVM chain basically every 2 weeks. So I'm skeptical because people seem to just like want the hottest new thing for a week, and then they find the next hottest new thing. They don't really care about these chains that much. Whereas IMX, Ronin, Polygon, even Arbitrum to a lesser extent, Cardano, they all have their builders and their cult followings. But all these EVM chains are coming out so fast, it's really hard for them to gain the mind share that everyone else already has. It's really tricky. But what Illuvium needs most is to build where players are, not necessarily where speed is. And so brand new chains don't really lend that to Illuvium unless they think it's going to have that in the near term. Okay, the next one I've got here is Kieran's commenting on Viper's proposal about improving the free-to-play gameplay and increasing the ownership value of alluvials. I can't quite remember what the initial thing is, but I think Kieran sums up his thoughts here well. He says, as soon as we add into the free-to-play game mode additional rewards for ownership, kind of like how Parallel works it can really blur the lines. We're trying to create a scenario where TFT players can come across and do exactly what you were saying in the proposal, play and win games. No need for NFTs or any crypto knowledge. That's why keeping the normal mode clean to only have cosmetics would feel a lot better. I agree. I think even though it doesn't affect who wins the battle, people don't like the idea of coming into a game and saying, oh, if I own NFTs, I can earn. Maybe I won't play. These other people own NFTs. They're earning. That's why they're playing. I feel kind of like I don't know how to like displaced playing in that environment. And that's kind of how I felt with Parallel. Now, I don't know if I'm alone in that, but I couldn't be bothered playing without a full 40 NFT deck. I just couldn't. It just felt weird and kind of like a waste of time. Maybe it's just because I didn't enjoy the game that much. I think it's going to get better, and I'm looking forward for it in mobile, but maybe that's why. But at the same time, I was just like, oh, like you can get all this stuff for owning NFTs, so I don't really want to play without it. And so I think separating that as much as you can is actually beneficial for the project. This, I don't entirely agree with myself, where he says in terms of rewards, it's leaning towards free-to-play 60 to 40, maybe 50 to 50, but it's nothing like the document suggests, 90 Leviathan, 10 normal. Honestly, I think 50-50 is where we start for sure, but over time, I would like to see it reach more of a 70-30 or an 80-20 in favor of Leviathan, depending on how the player base is reacting. Like Kieran says at the end here, really it is about the data we gather from all of these different scenarios that's more important. Yo, Surf, how's it going, man? I guess Ronan's the next change for Illuvium. Nothing's guaranteed or confirmed or anything like that. I think Ronin makes sense because they have a lot of players, and that's where Illuvium needs to connect. And also, the Ronin community is pretty amazing. Not gonna lie, they're a pretty awesome community, and I think it's kind of funny. I think if IMX and Ronin joined forces in like a huge partnership, it would destroy every other chain when they try to say that we're a gaming chain or whatever. Those two as a team would be unstoppable. Traveling back from Christmas. I love it, Tallulah. All right. We'll go to the next one. Oh my God, I'm really losing my voice. Okay. I just noticed this comment. He wants to thanks hiding after receiving 0.082 ETH by mistake. Sent him a GShock silly photo to partially recover the loss. That's crazy. Okay. Anyways, the next thing Kieran says is he partnered with Pudgy earlier in the year for cosmetic packs. But yeah, we've been talking about a crypto partner for a while. Some are in the pipeline. So people are asking for more crypto partners. Now, I know a lot of people really enjoyed the GShock partnership, but many are saying that like Web2 gamers just aren't here yet. These Web2 partnerships aren't really reaching the right audience for people who care about Illuvium. Going through the crypto partnerships is more impactful. I think that's what Kieran is confirming that is the plan. They're here, and there's some stuff already set up. Some cool Illuvatars pulled so far. Roger pulled a Hollow Naughty Foe. Absolutely fantastic pull here. A Radiant Stoelix and a Hollow GShock Arcos, one of TSG's favorite Illuvatars. Absolutely love it. Yeah, it doesn't matter how much money you could make if you're not having fun. Absolutely agree, Tallulah. Just like have a good time. Okay. So the next thing Roger says here is, I'll get this out for you early next year. Problem is resource management and timelines, but you'd have to look at Beyond as its own products. Philo's wondering if more like we could have more information on like a roadmap for Illuvium Beyond. But that it reaches and touches others in the ecosystem, though a few features mechanics, but it will be developed further to stand on its own as well. The focus is on the arena and Overworld and things like that. But Roger does say a little bit lower here that he'll get this written up and visualized early next year and shared, basically like a roadmap for Illuvium Beyond. It might not be like an official roadmap, but it'll be something really solid. We know Roger is good for it, so I'm looking forward to that. Here is a wallpaper. Let me copy the Discord link to that. A brand new leak, something we haven't seen before. Basically, it's the same thing we saw before, probably from the upcoming trailer, but they're going into some sort of rift next to an obelisk, likely to fight off a Leviathan in the new raids feature coming in the MMO Lite. So very, very exciting. Roger loves it. All right, so Neil comments on some other stuff, okay? He comments on some arena things, and I like going over Neil's comments because he has a really good handle on this sort of stuff. But firstly, this is how the round robin functionality actually works in the arena. When there's 8 players alive, you cannot fight any of your last 4 opponents. So if you play the top player in the game, okay, this actually changes the way you strategize, okay? If you play against the top player, like someone that's undefeated, you now know you are not going to play against them for the next 4 rounds. This means that if you're in second position, you can roll down a bit to really secure that strength because you know you're not going to play against someone that could knock off your win streak, and you can keep that win streak going. And even then, you're not guaranteed to play them again. However, after 4 rounds, you have a higher chance of playing them than you might have thought otherwise. So very cool. 7 players alive, last 3 opponents, 5 to 6, 2 opponents, 4 alive, 1 opponent. 3 players alive, it tries to avoid playing the same opponent twice, but it's going to happen sometimes. And 2 players alive, they engage in 1v1 matches until one is defeated. Very, very cool. All right. Whoops. That's the same thing there. Okay. So there was an idea here that Neil says that I'll explore, but basically on TFT, 50% of the time you play on someone else's battle board. It inspires you to own cooler battle boards so other players can see yours and be like, wow, this is cool, and I want to buy it and stuff like that. Currently, it's not implemented in Illuvium, and I agree it would be really, really fun it's the actual aesthetics of switching battle boards that tends to be the hard thing here, where sometimes it can be a little bit jarring. I would actually really like for you to be able to go in the settings and turn it off or on to if you want to use this functionality, but that's just me. The whole point is being able to see other people's battle boards. Couldn't agree more. Maybe not having it toggle would be good too, but I don't know. Or maybe like the higher ranked player is the one whose battle board you see. I think that would be a really great idea. Let's pencil that in, guys. Go make a feedback ideas chat. Let's do that one. Okay. So Neil has a really big comment on the latest arena patch with some exciting news as well. Basically, he says there has been some noticeable gameplay changes, and it's great to see more strategies becoming viable. He's been experimenting with different comps each time, so it's good to see different things can win. He also believes that corner strategies are an option, but they're a lot less dominant now. I can definitely see that, especially with the big change to empaths really helped that. There's definitely more work ahead. Comparing to where we are now to just 2 months ago, it's night and day, honestly. They're planning their first sprint for next year, and it includes some nice updates, better UI, gameplay tweaks, and quality of life improvements, and tools for onboarding new players, so like tutorials and things, which could be really cool. They're also looking to add more personality to certain composites with cooler effects and upgraded VFX, but this might come in the second or third release. Honestly, really excited for it in 2025. There's always room to improve, and he's grateful for feedback and support from everyone along the way. Go and jump in positive vibes. Give Nil some positive vibes. Okay. Some other features that are in the pipeline are like a bunch of things that are going to give you more control over which augments you get. They call it the Forge. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to improve the game so much. Augments kind of determine a lot of stuff right now, and we don't like that. Okay, so the next thing is controller support integration. I made a post here where I basically want specific and detailed feedback on what you think about controller support, but I really want it to be anecdotal. If controller support would make you play the game more often, I want to hear it. If it would make you, if it would be indifferent to you, that's important. We all know the controller support's net positive, right? No one disadvantages from it. But we need to know just how beneficial it would actually be before actually investing the time to go into something like this. And so me personally, I think it would be nice. I don't think it would really change my interactions with the game, and I've been honest about that. I might try it on the Steam Deck again and see how we go, but I have no idea if it'll even work there. But yeah, so please comment on this. Let me know if you have some anecdotal evidence. I really appreciate it. Okay, the next thing is Paz has made a thread about mega cities. If you have issues and bugs and things, it's a good place to put it. Also support us, send a support ticket, of course. But basically, if you want to talk about mega cities and all the different things surrounding it, please jump into this thread and get into it. We're going to go over some community content, and then we're going to circle back to the big announcement. The first thing is Fight Free spending some Christmas cheer this season. If you're on this Overworld leaderboard, DM him or comment. He wants to send you some ILV. I love it. Sir Dexter's there, Burn Chris, Slow Poker. If any of you guys see this, go get some ILV from Fight for ETH. You love to see it. Okay. So the next one is from Illuvidata. Paz's final tips for Illuvium Gauntlet for beginners. Love to hear it. Start simple. Don't overwhelm yourself. Focus on one composition until you're confident with the game mechanics. Love this. Stay flexible. Adapt your strategy based on what's happening in game and how your opponents play. That's a lot harder, but still important. And the third is master positioning. Placement is everything. And when you put your units, can be just as game-changing as which units you choose. Way more true in this than I would say in TFT. TFT is a little bit more about composition. Illuvium's got equal parts both. Like a good positioning, or I guess bad positioning can screw you a lot. Good positioning can really make the difference. It would be nice to sit in a comfortable chair. I get you, Tallulah. I get you. Controller would be really great. But like, it's easy to forget that you need to add other elements as well. You need to add things like aim assist and stuff like that. You can't really have controller without it. But I would admit that controller would be a lot more fun in a Monster Hunter style gameplay mechanics where you're swinging your sword and all that sort of stuff, for sure. Okay. You can support Paz here. Go chuck him a like. Go chuck this post a like if you want. From Illuvidata. It's probably one of their latest posts. Okay. The next thing is going hyper. I still can't believe I missed
Man
this
with
episode.
Lemos.
Every 2 weeks, okay, this one they had Caveman on the show. Every 2 weeks, there is a Going Hyper episode. It's morning for me in Australia. They did a lot of discussion on Polemo stuff. They showed off some leaks by the looks of it. Oh my God, I have to watch this. I'm going to watch this straight after I finish up this stream. Holy crap, those Halcyon leaks are sick. Is there any more leaks? Guys, any more leaks? Oh yeah, they showed off the new battle board. Absolutely love it. Played a game of Gauntlet. I've got to stop missing out this freaking show. I swear to God. Because it's like 8 a.m. for me and I'm already in the car by that time. I keep missing it. But one of these days, I'm going to remember. And you guys will regret it. All right. I don't know why you'll regret it, but you will. Okay. The next thing is Phantom is hosting another Gauntlet Clash one this weekend. Love to hear it. You guys should go register. $1,000 up for grab. Go check it out. Have some fun. But I kind of get it. Okay. Let us circle back. Before we wrap this up, let us circle back to the MMO Lite. Hold on, I'm having trouble finding it. I'll get there. I'll get there. I'm not that bad. Okay. Okay. A New Dawn. Absolute great graphic here. Want to begin by acknowledging the peculiar position Illuvium finds itself in at this moment. They're a leader in GameFi, backed by IP that is second to none in the Web3 gaming space. I'm not going to read this whole thing. I would have liked to, but I don't think you guys are going to enjoy that. Taylor's been playing on a reconfigured controller for Illuvium the whole time. That would be so challenging. I got wrecked on my Steam Deck. Okay. So the first thing here is Arena and Streamlined development. Like we've already known, they're streamlining Arena right now, getting all of their resources onto it to hopefully get it into a super duper polished and finalized state by the end of Q1 of 2025. They also say that we'll tackle the broader ambitions as we move through 2025 and beyond. There was a lot of feedback on gameplay and monetization. Obviously, the gameplay wasn't fun enough, and the monetization was, I don't want to say brutal, but it happened too often and was very off-putting for a majority of people, especially those from outside of our direct space right here. Rethinking the monetization, particularly the heavy reliance on frequently microtransaction and an economic model with only limited imperfect safeguards. We initially believed that strong sustained demand would naturally outpace the supply of in-game assets for zero. While our reasoning and logical foundation, the reality was that gameplay and overall content weren't compelling enough to support these assumptions. That's the really big thing there. We needed more core content at no cost. That is a really big one there. More free-to-play elements, but really just more engaging gameplay that you can get for free. Fewer microtransactions, so not like less money cost overall necessarily, but like way less nickel and diming people, and a more flexible set of contingency tools that could stabilize asset values without undercutting promises or penalizing specific parts of the community. So separating out Illuvium Zero and the Overworld a little bit might be beneficial there to like make sure that they can both be balanced on their own merit, because that's one of the things that really harmed it all at the very start of the project, at the start of launch. Balancing art and gameplay. We've relied heavily on our art team's incredible talents, and their work has consistently elevated Illuvium's identity. However, we recognize that prioritizing visuals over gameplay created unnecessary hurdles. And so they changed the tact earlier in the year. I think it really shows with the Arena, but gameplay is thoroughly tested and genuinely fun before they move on to polishing the art side of things. And it's really great. The art enhances the gameplay experience, not the other way around, which is very important. None of these points should come as a surprise. The community already knows we're focusing on Arena, refining gameplay before art, zeroing in on one title at a time. The answer can be summed up in one word: Overworld. What exactly? Evolving Overworld into an MMO Lite. Okay, we'll go through this one. So Overworld has the potential to welcome millions of new players. To make that a reality, it needs to evolve into what is always meant to be an MMO. More specifically, a creature capturing MMO that stands apart from anything else. Imagine an expansive MMO world where your ranger, alluvials, and drones grow in power and complexity as you play. This is very exciting. Like alluvials changing as you play too. Like maybe Ramfire's Omega does 100 damage, and then when you level it up, you can unlock a little skill tree, and now you can make it have a bigger area of effect or deal more damage. And then you go further down the skill tree, and you have something like simple like that for every alluvial. And you're not only playing with the alluvials, you're trying to rank them up so you can enhance their abilities and get further into the raids and the missions and get better rewards. That is exciting stuff. They envision a system where synergy is essential. Very, very cool. Hasn't really been tackled that much in MMOs to date. When you and your ally coordinate attacks or combine specific loadouts, your frontline units become sturdier and your attacks more potent. Very exciting, like classic MMO features, cooperative raids, guild-based progression, and player-driven markets, meaningful crafting, and strategic resource management. These interconnected mechanics offer depth, replayability, and a genuine sense of community. I think it could be really cool. A creature capturing core with the proven multiplayer and social elements that define the genre. Like my video the other day, I really think Destiny 2 is probably a really good example for what kind of Illuvium is envisioning here. I like to think of Monster Hunter as well, but it's probably much closer to Destiny 2. Monster Hunter doesn't really have like waves of enemies, whereas Destiny, that's a really big part of it. Waves of enemies and then a boss, which I think is much closer to what we're going for here. Talentry will be good, but harder to balance. This is definitely true, but like balance doesn't need to be the be all and end all. It needs to be about having fun. AD says they sold all their ILV. I mean, everyone's welcome to do whatever they like. I think that's fine. But just like, we can still be positive and stuff like that. And just like, especially during this holiday season, we can still be positive and, hang out, be critical, show criticism and things like that, but also respect and be positive towards the good things that have happened in Illuvium as well and stuff like that. So I think that's important. All right. Building on our existing foundations. This is everything that is complete and still in the works. What was notable here is story is complete, but needs new chapters, which is pretty cool. Alluvials, crafting, weapons, questing, marketplace, social, regions, and story are all complete. A lot of these are in progress. Armor being one of the big ones for me. Leviathans are in progress, not started, which is pretty cool. And raids have not been started, which is actually really funny they've seen that, because on the council, I've seen a small demo thing they've had of Breach, and it looks like a raids has been started to me. I can see so many elements of that would fit into raids really, really well. Obviously, there's a lot more work to do, but like they've actually like been prototyping, engaging with some of the systems that might be needed already. So, which is really exciting for the future of Illuvium. Over the past 2 months, they opened up the floor to every core contributor, asked them to submit 5 to 6 page pitch for their next project. He even wanted one for a MOBA, that's Kieran. However, as we reviewed all 17 proposals, it became clear that MMOs remain hugely popular. When I first jumped into Illuvium, everything I heard was, when is Illuvium becoming an MMO? Illuvium is an MMO, and so on and so forth. Everyone believed that straight away. And like, it's a shame that the focus has always been arena. I know a lot of people really wanted MMO, but that does take a lot of time. So it's not really a good or a bad thing. But I'm excited that we're all going to get the MMO we want. It's an MMO light, which I actually much prefer. I think traditional MMOs, I think, are actually outdated. I don't think in the past, the majority of gamers were my demographic, but younger, like teenage boys maybe is probably the main one, but teenagers in general. But nowadays it's all age ranges, and there's probably a large cohort, again, that's my age, between 20 and 30 and 40, maybe between 20 and 40, that love playing video games, but they're all working full time. They don't have that much time in their day. I think an MMO Lite is so much better for them, or at least I feel like it is, than it is for like a full MMO. I don't know anyone that's like in their mid 30s that's going to be like, oh yeah, new WoW expansion. I'm going to start WoW now. I'm going to start from scratch. I'm going to play through the whole thing. No one wants that. No one wants that. Maybe they do, but I don't think they do. If you guys want that, let me know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm really not a fan of that. But I think MMO Lite is exactly what I think I would enjoy playing. And maybe I'm the target demographic. I don't know. I've been the target demographic for gaming for a long time. That has changed a lot recently, but for a long time. Community-driven decisions and adjustments. One question we're still grappling with is how to handle the current version of the Overworld. His initial idea, nothing is confirmed, is to temporarily close it in its current state, offering only automated drone runs for alluvial acquisition until they can reintroduce a fully realized experience. New players aren't immediately exposed to an undercooked game. It sets the stage for a much more impactful relaunch. I don't hate this idea in a general sense, but the arena needs to be in its final form first. We need a game that we can play and be confident that it's going to be fun, stable, and consistent, and has a lot of players that we can play. We need something we can do. That's important to me. After that, I could see the value in closing the overworld, but we need to see the data from how drone runs actually do first, which is basically the pack opener. Ensuring financial stability. They're bringing the monthly burn down to approximately 900K. Next year with 1.86 million ILV tokens in the bank, as well as capital infusion, hopefully early on in 2025 by the looks of it. That's the guess, I suppose. But this capital infusion, confident securing the support needed to fully realize that this capital infusion will give the current prospective investors greater confidence. Love to hear it. While we're confident in our direction, let's be clear. We're not claiming to be infallible. We've accomplished a great deal, gathered an exceptionally talented team, and are forging ahead in partnership with our community. Our next steps involve refining the game's economy to truly feel rewarding, ensuring that the gameplay is engaging and meaningful, delivering immersive social features that strengthen player connections, and finally presenting the Illuvium story in a way that brings the entire experience to life. Yeah, it's hard to let go of hundreds of hours to Lula. Absolutely. Okay. That was the post there. Like, what do you guys... Whoops. What do you guys think about it? Like, do you think that's a good direction? Are you happy with the way Illuvium is handling all this? I like that they admitted to their mistakes. They have many times, but they're never so publicly and formally. Let's put it that way. I like that we're getting a little bit of an update of what's been happening behind the scenes, what we've still got upcoming, and some really great ideas for the upcoming MMO Lite. Now, what I didn't read out here is a bigger trailer is coming sometime in Q1 of 2025. I think like maybe even as early as January. They've even got like they've got like the prototype for this video. They just need to like render it out. Like they've got a few more things to add to it, but for the most part, the video is done. The big thing that's going to show off what this actually looks like. And I think it's going to be a really fun game. Honestly, I'm surprised they're saying it's going to take 2 years. Okay. I think that was the estimation in here, like 24 months, or at least that's what the kind of the word around the water cooler has been. I'm actually very surprised at that. Given what we have, I don't know how it's going to take longer than 6. Like, surely, I guess we don't know how long Arena is going to take, but surely by the end of 2025, there's a really great experience waiting for us at the end of that tunnel where we're jumping in with friends and we're tackling big bosses and things like that. I think building out all the armors, skill trees, and things like that might be the reason it's going to take a while. Getting the gameplay elements feeling good and feeling fun is going to be hard as well. But if that stuff gets sorted, all of the assets, which usually take the longest time in one of these sorts of games, they're all basically done as long as they've got a handle on building out the Leviathans and hopefully adding some brand new alluvials into the mix as well. But I'm hoping, this is me hoping and being very hopeful, I'm hoping that by the end of 2025, we're actually going to be battling Leviathans with our friends and with our alluvials by our side. And it's been a while since I've been this excited about Illuvium. Okay, I've been excited. I've been loving the arena too. But it's been a while since I've been like, I'm so keen to speculate. If you guys want me to speculate, let me know. But yeah, this is going to be a fun time. And with that, the download is complete. Have a good night. Have a Merry Christmas. And please have a Happy New Year.